Hey everyone, it's Susan Jones and welcome back to my Sunday Spotlight. If you are new to my channel, then you should know that every single Sunday I have what's called a Sunday Spotlight, where I share a quick tip, a freebie, a trick, or something that you can take and use in your K-2 classroom right away. So this week I wanted to go ahead and dive in and share 3 of my favorite books for the back to school season. Let's go. The first book I want to go ahead and share is The Kissing Hand by Audrey Penn, and this one is an oldie but a goodie. And this one in particular I think is very important this year. It's about a little tiny raccoon who goes off to school and he's feeling very anxious about, leaving his mom or his family behind. In this book it is about his mom, but you could also, mention other family members or someone that they are leaving behind to go off to school for the first time. And so what his mom does in the story is she gives him a little magic kiss in the palm of his hand that he can think about and kind of hold on to her love and her caring for him throughout the school day. Just do a quick Google search and you will find tons of free and fun activities that you can do with this book at the beginning of the year. But like I said, I think especially this year when our students have spent so much time with their families, they might have a little bit more adjusting when it comes to spending more time at school. So I had to mention The Kissing Hand. The next story I want to mention is called The Name Jar by Yang-Suk Choi. And this story is a wonderful story about a little girl named Eunhae who comes to America from Korea. And when she's here, she's, the new girl in class, and they go around, they ask her name, and students are having trouble pronouncing how to say her name. And she's feeling, a little left out and she's feeling very different. And so she has an important decision to make throughout this book, and that decision is if she wants to go ahead and choose, an American name when she had arrived here. So her and her classmates, they have a little name jar where they fill up different names that she could be called, and she has a difficult decision to make throughout the story. I find that this book is a great one to read. I know many teachers read Chrysanthemum, which I also love, and we talk about the importance of our names. This one, I feel like, I'm not gonna say it's better, but I do think it is a little more relevant because it's an actual person who is in the story. It's an actual character instead of a mouse, even though, don't get me wrong, I love my Kevin Hankies. But this is a great story to read when you're talking and discussing names. So I wanted to go ahead and mention this one. Now also, along with this one, I do want to let you know that I have a completely free interactive read aloud for this book where we talk about the character analysis of the main character. So I'll put some pictures right here of what it looks like. It's actually an example of my free interactive read aloud unit. So it has stopping points with different questions that you can ask throughout the story. After you read the story aloud to your students, you can go ahead and have them draw a picture and explain how Eunhae was feeling throughout the different parts of the story, from beginning, middle, and end. And I even like when they go ahead and give examples from the text. And then at the very end of the story, I also have this writing response that you can go ahead and have students complete as well. I actually have 70 of these read aloud lessons for some of my favorite picture books, a lot of tried and true classics in there, mixed in with some newer ones. And each one is set up in the same way. It has a 1-page read aloud with those stopping points for higher order thinking questions. And then it has a reading response and a writing response as well. So I will link that in the description for the name jar if you want to go ahead and use that this year. The last book I want to go ahead and share with you for the beginning of the school year is The Day You Begin by Jacqueline Woodson. I love Jacqueline Woodson books, and this one is no different. It is about being and feeling different. So in this story, this young girl, Gabriella, she goes to school, and it's a non-linear story, meaning it kind of touches upon a couple different students and just different scenes and reactions. It doesn't follow a typical linear pattern. And it just mentions about some days you will hop into your school or you'll hop into a different place. This one obviously takes place at school, but you might go in somewhere and you might automatically feel different, whether it is based on the color of your skin, the color of your eyes, what you bring to lunch, your name, what you did over summer vacation. All of those are topics that are mentioned in this book. And I'm sure, as many of you educators know, are topics that come up on a regular basis at school. So this is just a great book to allow your students to feel seen. And throughout the story, it's called The Day You Begin because it's when you find a friend in the classroom and you can just feel comfortable and you can feel yourself, and knowing that maybe you do have so many differences and they're all unique and wonderful and should be celebrated, but you probably also have quite a few things in common. And it's kind of saying like the day you begin just completely being yourself and understanding that not only is it okay to be yourself, but you should be cherished and loved for who you really are. I will go ahead and link all 3 of these books down below in the description, but there's one last honorable mention I do want to share. It is currently my son's favorite book because it is called The King of Kindergarten by Derek Barnes, and this is such a fun one. I didn't want to mention it in the real video because, you know, it's specifically for kindergarten, and this is just such a fun book about a little boy who is going to kindergarten for the first time, and he is going to be the king there, right? So there's all these references to kind of being a king or being at royal palace at school. Here it says, then a big yellow carriage will deliver you to your grand fortress. And it just makes the whole experience a lot of fun for students that might be feeling a little anxious about going to school for the first time. It also walks through in small details about things like what happens at school, you know, sitting and listening to the teacher, being brave and trying to make a new friend, different things like that that will happen at school anyways. There are so many different back to school books that you could possibly read at the beginning of the year, so I just wanted to go ahead and share a few of my favorites with you. That way, in case you haven't heard of these or don't have any for your classroom, you might want to try them out this fall. Now remember, even if you are distance learning, you should definitely hop on and record yourself reading some books to students. Read aloud time was my favorite time in the classroom, and I know so many of your students, it's their most favorite time too. So if you can, try to put your face on screen and just read them a book just like you would in the classroom so they can enjoy it. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, go ahead and give it a thumbs up so I know, and make sure you're subscribed to my channel and click that bell. That way you're notified of all my new videos. See you next Sunday. Bye.